and pressing issues. We would love to hear them. And of course, we do have the we do have the closing video that Teacher Ben has worked so hard on, and you will like it. Yes, and you will find pictures of yourself that you did not even know were taken. Yes. Yes, it's always a surprise. But they are put together very well, and I think you will enjoy it and like it. So without further ado, let's begin the question and answer session. All right, so let me get these things, let me get the chairs ready for the question and answer session, and let's clear a place. I'm sorry, we're messy. We're going to get all this off. Yeah, we're not as prepared as we could have been. Oh, there's my... Surprise. Okay. I found my schedule. All right. Now we are ready for the question and answer. We have two nice chairs, two nice name tags, two nice microphones, and two wonderful professors.
Any questions or comments on the teaching or your please?
David, the microphone.
I have been in, and some other people have been in some unfavorable situations since the process of this program has started. I want to know who's at the top and who is accountable for things, like who's the top boss of this program and who do we talk to if we have something happen like this. I had a situation, someone else had a situation where we were offered something and then it was just snatched from under our feet, and then just somebody said, sorry, nobody worked towards fixing that problem. I found the solution myself. I think someone else had to do something a little bit more intense than I did. Who is accountable? And also, like, something happened where one of our fellow FET members passed away. Nobody said anything this whole time. We organized our own thing. Is there going to be anything in the future where there's some type of, I don't know.
I understand as the primary investigator of this project. I'm responsible for the recruitment of the teachers, and including the screening of your paper and the interviews. And then originally I was also assigned to give you some site visits, but canceled this year. So and I was also assigned to try to present the difficulties or problems you have experienced here to the MOE. And basically, the boss is the director, Li Ke. Okay, so under her, as you know, Julie, who appeared here the day before yesterday, she is responsible for passing all the information to the director, right? And many decisions would be made by the MOE, basically the director lead there. And may I ask what exactly your problem is that you experience in school?
For me personally, I was offered a job at a school.
Yes.
Then I was contacting two individuals within the program for months leading up to me about to move to Penghu. And the day before I went to Penghu, they called me, and I called the school actually, and the school said, what are you talking about? We told them last week that we're dropping out of the program. And then after that, I started to call the other schools in Penghu and re-found another position that was open and found my own job. And something else happened similar to another work. And then, but there was no, it wasn't the problem that the school dropped out. The problem was there was no accountability. Nobody said, hey, oh, we're gonna get on top of it. We're gonna help you find this. We're gonna do this. It was just, oh, sorry, good luck. You know, that type of thing is what I'm talking about. Is where's the accountability of you know, you offer somebody something.
Yes. Okay. Got it. After your orientation, basically, the school, the local county or cities will shoulder the responsibility of communication with you and or supervising your teaching. So in a good sense, cities and county, even the school, was empowered to do all this, right? But actually it's kind of responsibility. Unless problems cannot be settled at the school level and the county level, and then the MOE will step in. That's the basic procedure there. So we did have this kind of experience last year. For example, we have a teacher in the southern part of Taiwan. I cannot mention that. Yeah. In the southern part of Taiwan, some miscommunication between the teacher, the foreign English teacher, and the local teachers. With support from the school principal still, but poor communication between the local teacher and the foreign teachers. There were lots of problems. And in that case, we asked the local county to step in first. The problems were not solved. And then we just went in. That's one case. Yeah. So that's pretty much the procedure we will follow here. But even though, okay, it sounds like you have some kind of disconnection between you and the school at the beginning of your teaching here. That's something we have been trying to do. In addition to the orientation for the teachers like you here, we also held a kind of workshop. I mean, in early August, okay, for those local teachers on the planning of the curriculum and also on the administrative work. But it seems that there's still much room for us to improve there. Yeah, we'll try to do a better job in that area next year, right? We'll specifically ask each school to give us probably a name of a teacher who is going to be responsible for the communication with foreign teachers here next year. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Teacher David, did this school drop you like that before orientation or after?
Before.
Oh.
If I'm understanding you correctly, I think it's just a problem with miscommunication. Yes.
No.
I mean, partially, but at least from...
Sorry. For me, I feel like there's so much isn't said to us, both on individual school basis and higher than that. And we find out things last minute, or we never find out things, or we're just not told anything at all. And yes, we're self-sufficient adults, but moving to a new country is very stressful and very difficult, and we do need people to help us there. And there, I think, have been so many things that have come up where if someone had just simply said something, there wouldn't have been a problem. And I don't know if that directly really applies to what you're saying, but okay, so, but to me it just sounded like there's so much miscommunication, and maybe that played in there, and just my own personal experience, there's been miscommunication and no communication at all. And you have to fish and dig and pry for information, and you don't even know who to ask.
Or if you ask someone, they'll say, oh, you got to call this person, and then that person says, no, you got to call that person, and that person says, no, you got. That's why I just wanted to know who's at the top, because sometimes calling the top gets things fixed faster.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why that was my first question. Who's at the top of who do I call who's at the top? Because that is how something will get fixed faster.
I think it's pretty serious. I mean, imagine you're moving to another country, right? You've been told you have a job. This is where you will live. I mean, for some of us it's just me, but David has a whole family. And when you call the school and they say, oh no, sorry, we already told someone at MOE a week ago, how's that miscommunication? I mean, geez, like that's a huge mistake on somebody's part.
And that's why I'm asking who's going to be held accountable for this, or who do we talk to? That's my question that wasn't answered. Like, who do I talk to? Who's at the top? That's all I wanted to know.
I show you the edits.
Yes, I mean, I would be tempted to say Alex is someone who can Alex fixes a lot of problems from what I hear. I don't know if that's the official answer, Professor.
No, I fixed my problem.
Oh, I know you did, and that was
I'm
awesome.
wondering who was supposed to fix it. Who was
I
supposed to
agree.
fix the problem?
It seems that we have a very great coordinator around here in the campus. Yeah, but I mean during the program, but they most of them just serve in local counties or cities. Yeah, but we do hope that the other coordinators in each city will be as comfortable, as competent and capable as them. So probably will do better in this area, asking each county and city to pick someone who is really competent in communicating with local teachers in the future. Yeah. As for some miscommunication in the process, I asked Alicia at the very beginning of the program, saying that we are not going to visit them this year, that something's bad. But I asked her to monitor what's going on around you on FB or your platform. But she told me that you guys were not very active on FB this year. It seems like it was not that bad. I mean, not many problems there. But just in case you do have problems with your local schools, please, tell us or express that to Alicia on the FB, and she will monitor and try to contact the local counties or cities to start to take some action. That's where action starts, basically.
All right.
Email. She suggests email is more formal.
But who's at the top?
And then she will ask local counties or cities to start take some action.
All right. I'm going to try to explain. I just want you to understand the context of things, and maybe this is my outsider view looking in. But a lot of us are kind of used to more of an imperial system where there's like a central government and the MOE, or it's like the FBI. They can tell every little school what to do, or even a little county. Whereas here in Taiwan, there's a lot more strong power at the local level. And so if Professor Ye would swoop in and fix something, even if it says he can on paper, he could probably do it, but the blowback and the damage to the working relationship between the school and the county, it's
fine line.
Yeah, he can burn bridges and then never be able to ever help anybody ever again at the local level. So that there has to be a way to go around to do it to where he can help, or the MOE can help without losing too much face or stepping on too many toes. And I know that's very weird if you're not from like this part of the world. But like even if you go to China, we look at China as this monolithic thing, but every step you take outside of Beijing, every province and city gets more and more autonomy to where when you get to Shenzhen on the other side of the country, there's not a lot of things Beijing can say and Shenzhen can do, or has to do. And that's the kind of complicated thing that when people want to help, they can't help as easily as maybe you could in like England.
So it's caught up in red tape.
Thank you for the explanation.
Yeah,
that's good explanation. Yeah, that's the dilemma the MOE is facing actually, because the middle school and junior high school education is basically the realm of local governments. They take a full responsibility. The MOE is responsible for senior high only. So whenever the MOE has some directives or some programs to introduce to local elementary and junior high school levels, there's not much they can do about that except the budget. You know, they'll provide you the budget and ask you to follow this and follow that. Otherwise, when there's some problems, yeah, the local government do have the autonomy there, but they can say that no, I simply will not apply for your budget. So that's the dilemma the MOE is facing. So Matthew is right. Yeah. Sometimes we cannot step in too much. So we'll ask the local government, since you apply for the program, and then you are responsible for taking good care of the teachers here. That's something we can do. So that's why I say the action starts from the local or city, the county or city government. So as soon as there are some problems, we'll try to contact them and see how they solve the problems. Yeah.
Okay. I think Alex would have I know you have something to say. I think Alex would have a very good perspective on this, being Taiwanese American and functioning in both systems.
Well, it's kind of like pretend you're a teacher in America and you come across a problem. You do not go to the federal government, the educational federal government of the United States, and complain. But I'm not saying it's like the exact same comparison, but the concept is kind of the same. Like there's different levels you have to talk with first. For example,
it's common sense, but the thing is, if you go ask for help, the person you're asking can't help you. So therefore you need to go to someone else. But then we don't get pointed into the right direction. That's the thing.
I couldn't get foster school for the last 5 years. And you don't have a time limit to be kicked out of the USA if you don't.
I actually do. When I was teaching there, I had a time limit to get all my visa and everything sorted.
That's what I'm
before I can teach. I hit roadblocks. When I was in America, it was not smooth sailing. I had to fight. I'm just saying. I'm not saying what is happening is not right. That is not what I'm saying. But I'm saying there's a structure in every educational system in every country. There's different steps you need to take. If you take one step, it doesn't work, then...
But what is that?
Okay. Here's the step. You have to find, there's a person on the ground somewhere in your town or in the town next over who has this thing called guanxi. Okay, you have to find the person with the pole that runs the show in that area.
Okay, may I say something? I don't know. Can I say something, please? Okay, so I get what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. We wouldn't go to the federal government. However, when we come here, we're in contact with MOE. Never has anyone ever said, this is your local government and this is who you should be in contact with. So if that's the case, then in the beginning, we should know before we get here what county we're going to go to, and we should be in contact with them before we're put anywhere. Because if that's who we're supposed to go to, then we need to have that contact.
A flow chart of what will happen.
It makes sense not to go to the MOE. You're right, I get that. But if that's not who we're supposed to go to first, then we need to have that contact given to us.
But when we got this job, they're like, oh, you work for the MOE?
Exactly, that too. They told us we work for MOE.
So they said, so I'm saying, that's, when I first got here, they didn't say FET.
What I hear Sydney saying is, we need a county MOE. We need a county MOE, we need a county liaison. How do I spell liaison?
Latin teacher.
It's French. Okay, so we need a county liaison and a county government to intercede between us and our schools. If we had a county person that could help us, someone in the government that would maybe keep an eye on the school, that's who we need. There has to be someone in the county that we can trust. We need a county friend. A county liaison. And then who can handle it themselves most of the time and only contact you guys if they need to. So we're not just like spamming Alicia with things that she can't even deal with anymore. We need a county liaison. Every county needs a liaison. We need to be introduced to them and have a relationship.
But we're not privy to that information.
For those who don't have the contact person in each county, we'll provide you the list. But in the meantime, I think that we will contact that particular person first and ask them to approach you and tell you that I'm the right person to contact with in this county.
Yes. I mean, yeah, you're right. In the United States, if that's not the example we're going to go with, you go to your district. That's the issue. But here, all we are introduced to is Alicia. We try to refer you then to the right.
But you know, it's taken me 5 years to be introduced to Alicia.
Because you're not in my program. Yeah, and I have meetings.
But she didn't know that.
But no one's ever told me that. It's taken 5 years for somebody to tell me that.
Yeah, sorry about that. We did not officially introduce you to the contact person in each county there. And In fact, there probably will not be such an occasion during our orientation or something, but at least we'll give you the name and ask that particular person to contact you. If not before you come here, at least after you come here to Taiwan. Yeah, that would help. Okay. But starting from this, yes. We thought that they might have contacted you, but it seems that they did not, right? So,
Professor, sorry, I've got a couple of things. I just, at first, my wife was in a situation where we had work permit issues, and that's been sorted out now. And thank you to the Ministry of Labour and the Ministry of Education. The thing is that when you said in this whole course we had the cultural thing. Now, my wife in the beginning we were trying to establish contact. Why it was happening. We didn't get emails. We waited for months. A month went by. Now that is not misunderstanding, misinterpretation. That is just plain. But for me personally, if someone did not come back to me within a month and tell me, or when they did that, I didn't have an answer. In our culture, I mean South African culture, when you have a question, just email me and say, hey, we're taking care of it. Don't worry. I have a family. My wife cannot be here because. I don't know if the people in the program, if you have people in the program as a couple and you have children, okay, how are we going to take care of the kids? Who's going to stay home? I've got a 2.5-year-old daughter, a 4-year-old daughter. We're both in the program. Come to the training. Oh, you can't come both? No, you understand? This is the basic stuff.
During the whole process, they did CC me the mail there. Okay. I read those mail. But I talked to people at MOE, and they said that I was not supposed to step in, but they are doing this. And I noticed that every once in a while, new email just came in, and it's not true that they were doing nothing. But
we were not informed.
They were not doing that in an effective way. I agree with you, yes. But in here for many decades, we have a lot of administration procedures to follow. Sometimes it's not just the matter with you here, but in our daily life, we did experience this kind of, before we said red tape. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, but people seldom use this, people talk about this less often today. Yes. Government is improving, but probably not as fast as we expected.
But we had a family with 2 young daughters and having this financial burden. I understand that. You understand? So, and the thing is just, it can be improved. Of course, it can be improved, but we need both sides. We always have to learn about Taiwanese culture. But I think the people from the MOE dealing with the foreigners should also get a public relations program or something. You know.
Maybe the.
You're taking it away from
sorry. The wrong direction.
I'm talking.
If we knew that if we knew and liaisons knew that they had a certain amount of time that they needed to get back. So in America, there's a standard 72-hour wait period. You might ask a question, and then the business or the organization has about 3 days to look into it, get something, and then they can get back to you. That way, we know what's going on because it's not stable when you need something and you don't know when that information is coming, and it's your life. For some of their situations there were time limits. So if someone's just taking their time to answer the question, that's giving you a shorter period of time to organize whatever it is you need to put together, or if you need to buy a ticket, oh my gosh, do I have to buy the ticket last minute because they're going to tell me if it's a negative answer. So if there was like a time limit that both sides had so that we could calm down and be like, okay, you know what, it hasn't been 3 days yet, let me wait this out. And the other side, okay, I have 3 days to get back to this.
I understand that, Okay. Let me put it this way, Julie has been doing her best, her behalf, I did read some mail from her, and in one of her mail, she simply said that I have to handle so many stuff. This is just one of my business, yes. As she said, I thought that's kind of emotional, I would say that. For me, that's why big event, probably the whole event. But for Julie, she has her difficulties as well. She had to handle all these things, but one more thing. This is something she can solve all by herself. She has to do lots of cross communication with the Ministry of Labor. That's the problem.
But isn't it changing now?
It's going to change next semester. Yes, that's one good thing about that. Yes. So probably they can do a better job. But please understand that Julie has been doing her best, and it's cross ministry. She really likes to get it done.
My
pass it, but because of problems, they don't.
This
should be good.
And never gotten back.
Answer this saying, listen guys, this update, weekly update, or is it, I'm dealing
Yes,
with it, I'm coming back with that's what we need.
but to be honest, I did notice several mails like this before from Julie or from the Kurza directly. But probably because that's such a big problem for you and for Mia, so you don't think there were not sufficient support from them or responses from them. But to be honest, to be objective, I did read some responses like this during the process of your communication.
Okay.
But it's nice to see that it's solved.
It's solved now, yes. Yeah. But for temporary, we wait until the law changes.
Yeah. And I believe that probably I have to talk to you later on because Mia originally could ask for like a permanent resident.
Let me go see. Yes.
Yeah, right. Yes. Because some kind
tax
of bad
problem. That's the
right.
Yes.
Probably not the best way to solve it. Yeah, Julie told me that the other day. Yeah. All right. We'll talk about that too.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions or comments?
Oh, I think we have one. I think we have a comment.
Hi. I know everybody's been just talking about their experiences. I'm fairly new, but today's 7 days. Today's 7 days. Yeah. This is my 8th day. Yeah, my 8th day. Okay, 8 days. Yeah. But on the positive side, I think my experience has been extremely welcoming. The people around have been communicating effectively enough with me. I've been receiving a lot of emails, and Tara has been also communicating with me, Alicia as well as Angel. So for me the experience is quite different at the moment in terms of arriving here and getting me settled, and the school that I'm at as well were very, very welcoming, and they made it quite. It was just an overwhelming experience, and I was so welcomed, and so for me that was my experience thus far. Next year it might be a different situation, but let's hope that it doesn't get to that. Okay, so that's just on the positive side, and thank you for all the assistance, and I really appreciate what's been done so far.
I'm also but I'm fine. It just seems that when there's been a crisis, it hasn't been dealt with particularly well, but otherwise everything's fine.
Hello. Sorry. If I could make a suggestion, I really appreciate the whole book, and some of the stuff is necessary, but I'm just thinking, save the planet. Isn't that the whole point of the PPT, that you don't have to use the paper and you don't have to print everybody's PPT? I understand it's good because I want to, like, some of the websites and stuff that that's in here I'd like to use, and that's very useful, but I'm just thinking, oh my goodness, so many trees.
So you're suggesting maybe we continue to make this document, but make it an ebook?
We can just email you guys. We can upload our PowerPoint or video, on our we have a Google site, right? We have a Google site.
So if you don't mind, we'll just electronically next year. All right, good.
Nice.
Yeah, we have our website.
By the way, it's for the budget for printing, in denomination is where I heard that David had problem with this morning, right? Talking about printing some materials out of your expenses, and actually, probably again that's a problem with the school as well. We do have the budget for that, and then after the program, we'll contact the school to make sure that they provide you enough resources for your teaching. Just however, I checked the documents, the contract. In the budget, the MOE sponsor the local schools. They have to give a big budget for that, for for all foreign teacher related activities like your attendance to the workshop, or like summer or winter camps, or